We had met you all a few weeks ago for unveiling the cover of our book, Found Again: Real Stories of Women, Work, and Flexibility. We are so excited now as we are gathered to release this labor of love, our labor of love, into the world. FlexiBees' first ever book. It's available for purchase right now.
So we three founders had started FlexiBees with a vision to re-employ experienced women professionals who are trying to return from a career break or who want to balance their work and lives via flexible working. And along the way, we realized how powerful their journeys are, how hard the path is. So we were privy to their journeys of toil, of hope, of victory, and success. And this is the journey, this is the privilege that we wanted to share with the world. And that is the story of how this book was born.
So, yes, like Deepa said, that's what Found Again is about. It's 20 stories of 20 incredible women who have created their unique career paths that align with their lives. They are changing the rules of the workplace, they're changing the game, and we are here to bring to them or to bring to you their voices, their dilemmas, their choices, but eventually their victories.
We are honored that this book has been blessed by stalwarts like Indra Nui, Ajay Banga, Meena Ganesh, Vaidi, Vidya Lakshmi, Anita Bogle, Ganesh Balakrishnan, Mahima Vashisht, Monica Jasuja, Swati Gupta, and others. And we also feel very honored to have one of these stars, Apurva Purohit, who wrote the foreword for the book, to be joining us on the launch of the book.
So before we welcome Apurva, there is an exciting announcement for you audience. So we will be giving away three freshly printed books as giveaways to three lucky winners who will be putting their questions for Apurva and for us in the comments box. So many of you will be joining via LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you're on. Please do put your comments in the comments box, and at the end of the session, we will be announcing the lucky winners. So we will not hold you back from Apurva right now. So anymore, we are also very eager to meet her. Welcome, Apurva.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of you. Such a big day for the FlexiBees team and for all the women who have been part and who will get inspired by this book.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Apurva. So, Apurva doesn't need any introduction, but still, for the benefit of the audience, I will just read a very short introduction to you guys. Just give me a minute. Sorry. I think while we just read out the introduction, Shreya, if you can lead the session with Apurva, we will just get the introduction in a minute out.
Sure, sure. So when we decided to write the book, there was nobody else in mind that we had for writing the foreword. It's Apurva, you're the first person we thought of, and we knew that you would do a brilliant job because you feel so passionately about helping women in the workforce. You do so much work around it. So yes, my question to you, and of course we have some inkling, but for the benefit of the audience, what were your thoughts when you read the stories that we sent to you when you were writing the foreword? It would be great to hear from you.
Okay. So, I read the book. Shreya sent it to me. I, of course, know the FlexiBees team and know what a wonderful job they're doing in their own business. But as I was reading the book, I think the thoughts that really went through my mind are as follows. So, when all of us started worrying about diversity, and I think I started talking about it, writing about it in 2013. And at that moment, you just felt so sad that so many women, so many bright women were entering the workforce and as quickly leaving it. So that there all of us wanted more women, wanted the female talent in our organization, but just not were not able to retain them. And then when I started talking to everybody, you realize that the challenges they faced of children and marriages and social pressures, etc., etc., were very, very similar across the board. And in a sense, I would say that at that moment, I did the same, and so did many others, where the point that we drove to these women were more prescriptive in nature, where we are actually exhorting them that don't leave the workforce. You can balance both. Yes, you don't have role models, too many role models, either in your family or at workplaces, and the default gender of leadership, unfortunately, is male. But there are ways to manage both, and that was really the effort that all of us put in, and I know I did a lot of work around that. Over the last 10-15 years, I have realized that, of course, I would still want women to, give their best, put in the best effort, and manage the imposter syndrome that so many suffer from, the subconscious biases that are there within their mind, where they're questioning whether they're good enough, the the fact that if I want to become a boss, do I become less popular, the desire to feel needed in different spheres of your life, the effort to multitask, maybe sometimes get burnt out. Of course, I keep on even now telling women that, you have to become best versions of yourselves, but to a large extent from a prescriptive uh, uh,
Yeah.
thing or wisdom. I've moved a little more to saying that each of us have our own unique paths. Each of us have our own unique
Yeah.
roles. We have the context that we are in. Our priorities at different decades keep on changing, and thus this book specifically, these stories, to my mind, are pushing that thought even further. That don't get guided by other people. Of course, you can get inspired, aspire to be, but there is no cut paste. There is no cookie cutter behavior that will work. You draw inspiration in the patterns behind, in the first principles, the principles of hard work, grit, determination, but most importantly, you take from all these women the fact that I will own my own agency. I will decide my destiny. And each of our destinies is unique. And the stories here push this point further. And that is really the point that I also have been talking to people, pushing it. And I found this in these stories, that each of these women have made their individual choices. The choices are not the same across the 20 stories, the 200 stories, the 2000 stories that this book will inspire. And that's okay, because each of our definition of success needs to be different. It has to be different, because again we are walking into a trap. If we are walking out of one trap of this paternalistic bias, we cannot walk into the other trap of saying, oh, to become the best version of myself, I have to become a superwoman. To become the best version of myself, I have to multitask. To become the best version of myself, I have to be the best in all my roles that I play at all the time. In fact, I keep on telling women who ask me, can I have it all? I say, yes, you can have it all, but not at the same time. At different paces, you can have it all. And I think the stories here showcases this point so beautifully, that all these women are successful, but they chose when to be and how to be successful by also managing priorities at different points in time differently. And to me, this is the speciality of the book. This is the difference in this book as compared to other stories on diversity I read and hear about. And thus, this book will be a genuine inspiration to everybody.
Thank you so much, Apurva. That's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
And of course, here, we can maybe very organically also tell our audience, if they already don't know, that Apurva is, somebody who has, who's reinvented herself. That's how I think of you, Apurva. You've reinvented yourself at so many junctures in your life, from the height of a corporate career where you spent 30 years, leading businesses and working in media, being president of Dainik Jagran and other businesses. From there, you decided to turn entrepreneur with Aazol. And Aazol, of course, is a venture where, you help women who are in interiors of in rural areas of Maharashtra and other states to bring their local produce to the people who are still living in the cities like us and who don't have access to these kinds of foods. So that's your newest avatar, and it's amazing. And I've read your books, Lady You're Not a Man and Lady You're the Boss, and these both are bestsellers, and they also are very inspirational, say almost like manifestos for women at work, and how they can keep scaling new heights. So to hear these words from you, Apurva, is very heartening. Thank you for your support for the book and for everything else.
I wish you all the very best, and I know this will be a success. I know it will be a success because it is written from the heart, and it is stories of genuine, real life role models whom all of us must draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
So,
on that note, I request you to please officially release our book.
um,
Indeed.
Shreya, if
Yes,
Shreya,
Deepa.
we also are ready with the Apurva's bio, which has, apart from the lovely things that you mentioned, some key highlights and achievements and awards also which she has won. So I will just like to fill in a few things from her official bio. So Apurva is also independent director at Marico, and Mindtree and L&T Technologies, as well as Naveen Fluorine International Limited. Over the years, Apurva has won multiple business awards and has been named as one of the most powerful women in business, as per the India Today group and Fortune India. She was amongst LinkedIn's top voices and Your Story's top 10 digital influencers, and recently won the Distinguished Alumni Award from her alma mater, which is ours also, IIM Bangalore, in 2022. We are really honored to have someone of your pedigree and stature writing the foreword and unveiling the book. Thank you so much, Apurva.
I'm
Okay.
going to now do the job for which all of us are so pleased to do this, which is unveiled, found again.
Uh,
And if you allow me, I would love to read a paragraph from here because I think the
Definitely.
thing that this book does from page one to the last page is incredible and deserves to be read aloud many times repeatedly by everybody.
Thank you
So
so much. Very honored.
here you go. One, two, three.
Yay! Shall we also show our copies?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have.
Lovely. Here, here, here. There. Found again, found again.
Thank
This is
you.
the best.
Yes, Apurva, please do go ahead.
Yes, I will. So just the paragraph I'm reading from the forward. The stories in this book are a refreshing change from the current narrative on diversity that you will read elsewhere. These stories do not suggest that one path is better than another, nor do they glorify unattainable perfection, which is as much a mirage as it is a burnout inducing exemplar. Indeed, each of the stories is a heart pleasing and delightful narration of real women who dealt with real life challenges that all working women have faced from time immemorial, of mistakes they made and solutions they discovered, some answers which were found contextual to the life stage they were in, and some resolutions that evolved with their own learnings and reflections. More importantly, the thread that binds these stories together is that of resilience, of finding a middle ground, which is certainly not about having it all, but having what is needed and required by each woman on her own terms and suited to her individual needs and desires. They are all the more powerful because they are stories of women who refuse to get stereotyped by either the feminist or the misogynist. To my mind, there is no one better and more equipped than the FlexiBees leadership team to bring these stories to life for you. A brigade of wonderful women who themselves have shattered several conceptions and misconceptions about working women while creating a successful organization that helps women find that individualized and specific work life charter that works best for them. Each of the women leaders who helmed this lovely organization has walked that challenging path of forging personalized choices, seeking control over her destiny, and reclaiming her agency. They do us proud. It is my hope that as you read these stories and draw succor and inspiration from the women who are the heroines of each piece, you get the courage to independently choose the course of your own actions, to walk boldly along the unique path that belongs only to you, and to fly against headwinds that will buffet you but will ultimately help you soar even higher. May courage be your constant companion and fortitude your friend.
We are
So well
inspired all
written,
over.
Apurva.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so well written. Yeah,
Inspired
such
by
a
the stories. Inspired by the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such an apt
So,
paragraph. It's
yeah,
very nice.
yeah.
I
So
think
thank you.
we have some questions. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are having a lot of questions and comments. Um so I'm just going through one by one. Sonia Datta says the book sounds wonderful. How did you choose the mix of stories? And and did you have to leave any out? Oh, I think this is one for us. Shreya, do you want to take this question? I'll meanwhile scroll through the other comments.
Sure, sure. So yes, we did have to actually leave. I'll answer that part first. We did have to leave quite a few stories out. I mean, over
Yeah.
the last 5 years, we've spoken to so many women. It's innumerable. We can't even put a number to it, perhaps. And every story is brilliant. Every story tells us how rich the lives of women are, and also how tough they are, and the kind of sort of choices women have to make, which sometimes men don't have to, and those are difficult. So every story stands out, and we did actually have to choose a bit, but this is the first edition, and we are hoping to do many more, wherein we bring the voices of many more women, because we really felt that there is a narrative around women being missing, but we don't know what happens after that, and perhaps we don't even know why they go missing. While we understand the statistic and we know it's really bad, but we don't understand the realities of that statistic. Why would a woman choose, after having spent all her life chasing an ambition, working, or working towards working, getting educated, being in the workforce, being independent, why would she choose to go missing? And this is our attempt to bring those voices, and to also bring the solution, which we think is, it really unlocks more women to enter the workforce. And today, not just women, it offers choice to everyone, no matter who they are. So yes, we had to make some decisions. But this is the first book. We've tried to bring together a mix from different functions, different places, different kinds of situation. People who are living in the metros, people who are situated in smaller places, people with different kinds of reasons as to why they had to take the decisions they did. We even have women who've chosen to work flexibly because it was something that they wanted in their lives. So it's a mix. That's the criteria we used. But there are many more stories, and we will do our best to bring them to you.
Thank you, Shreya. So we have many interesting comments and questions. The next one is from Trishla Upadhyay. I think this Apurva, you can help answer this. How can men benefit from the insights in the book, and what role can men play in promoting greater gender equality in the workplace? It's a very important question. Apurva, over to you.
everywhere, all of us, whether it is Deepa, Rashmi, and Shreya, whether FlexiBees, whether anybody talking seriously about diversity, all the time we understand that we are talking about equality. We are never good. We are never saying that one is better or worse than the other. It is about
Yeah.
equality. I think equality which is missing currently. The unfairnesses that women face. Now, this desire to be equal, I think it is so important that we get men as our allies, because the fact is that especially in the corporate world, entrepreneurships, public spaces, largely leaders are male. And unless you have leadership backing, how will there ever be
Mm.
equality? So you definitely need men as allies at the workplace. Men who understand the social pressures women face, who also understand their own subconscious paternalistic biases that may be existing in their mind. I think,
Mm.
if not more important, we need men as allies at home.
Yeah.
True.
Men and our husbands and our brothers and fathers who genuinely want equality, who themselves are willing to play that equal partnership role, who themselves, as I keep on telling women, that the single most important career choice you will make is who you will marry. So that makes such a difference in ensuring that a woman does well and succeed. So I think you need men as allies both at work, because the default gender, as I said, of leadership is male currently. You also need men as allies at home, so they support in their endeavor, and more importantly, they themselves play an equal role in parenting and nurturing, so that both are genuine equal partners.
Well said.
Thank you.
I mean,
Very
I think,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
more important than choosing the right man to get married to if you're so inclined to get married and to a man.
Correct.
And since we are talking about not, of allowing women to make their own decisions and keeping the path as unique and open for them through this book, at the additional point I want to make is that it is not necessary also to get married. In fact, there's a
Yeah,
Harvard research which says that women who didn't marry versus women who chose the wrong partners are actually happier
yeah,
and more
Yeah.
successful. So
Yeah.
yeah,
each one individual
Yeah.
yeah,
choice.
Yeah. True.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Purva. We have another interesting question. How did you get the idea for the perfect title? So, Rashmi, you want to start this? I think all of us will have something to say on this.
Yeah.
Rashmi, maybe you can.
So the title was a lot of back and forth between us, between the three of us, because it was not an easy thing, right? How do we come up with something which kind of encapsulates this very, inspiring, but at the same time it's complex and nuanced what we are trying to say. And I think we were talking about it, and we had multiple options. I think we wanted to talk about the missing women, but it seemed a little negative. The whole concept of just the missing women. Actually, the beauty of our book is we have come up with ways of how the missing women are actually, from missing they've come back, they've found ways back. That's what we wanted to. So if we left it at something like that, even though it's powerful, it still seemed not to do justice. And then I think we were marinating on it, and I think it was Deepa who finally said, "What? Let's do the opposite of missing women. What's, which is what this thing about." And then Deepa said, "What about found again?" And then all of us felt it was powerful. We liked that, it said told the story, and yeah, we felt inspired by it. The three of us,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to add to what Rashmi said,
Yeah,
so many options,
yeah,
which is we discussed, and our team contributed
yeah.
so
All the
many
options.
different
Yeah,
variations, and yeah. So we had went the creative route, we went the punchy route, and we went the simple route. Everything. So found again also actually is important metaphorically, because the women have found themselves, right? So that is what this journey has been about, that there is work has been such an important part of the identities of these women. And when a career break happens, they not only lose the career, so many things associated with it, which is their professional identity, who they are. So that's, I have gone through the same journey. And when we started FlexiBees, this and we could see that common theme of this yearning to find yourself. Where do you fit in? What do you do? And this professional identity, self confidence, financial independence, freedom, so many aspects, and all of them have carved this path. They have done this. So, and this is actually a tribute for them to be finding themselves again, also. And this, not only those who have taken a break, even those who have taken this choice fully, this flexible route, that they are in it for something, right? There's something larger than work at play here. There is they want to support their ambitions, they want to support their life. So I think this we felt that it represents them, um, kind of holistically. Thank you for that question. I think we gave a very long answer there.
Yeah.
I think it was Archana who asked that question.
There are
Thank
some
you.
more questions also which have come up
Some
just
more,
now.
yeah, some more questions.
Shruti,
I think let me take one more,
yeah.
maybe one more. So there's an interesting one. Um, Pranoti.
Shruti and
Okay.
Subhashini.
Pranoti is asking, what reform do organizations need to undertake in order to make flexible work and work-life balance a possibility for all, men and women, without compromising on career growth and rising up the ladder? I think, yeah, very good one. Apurva, you want to share your views, please, first?
So you all know, and I think Shreya and Deepa, you and I had a conversation just yesterday about this. And see, each of us will have our own point of view, etc. My point of view, and as a both as a manager, as a woman, as a person with family, and recognizing the different types of employees we have, multi-generational, coming from different socio-economic backgrounds. I personally very strongly believe in the hybrid work model. Okay, where I see that work from life, work from that 6 day, 7 day, 50, 70, 80 hour is not required. And the pandemic taught us a very valuable lesson.
Mm, mm,
Equally, I also believe that, you need to be in office so that bonding happens, team management happens, and a lot of alignment and collaboration takes place. Trust gets built up when you face to face interact with people.
mm,
And
mm,
therefore, things like FlexiBees is such an important thing because you're saying flexible. Flexible, the definition of flexible is there are opportunities and options for everybody. Sometime be at work, sometime be at home, and this flexi bees one day should become flexi bees and flexi boys because
mm.
give this option also to men. Why not? When they have little children, I'm sure a lot of men increasingly will want to spend more time at home and would want flexible options. So I think a hybrid work model should work. How do you ensure that you succeed? How do you ensure that you succeed in this work from home and work from office or work from home flexible environment? I think there are two things. For a manager to ensure that it succeeds, you have to understand that that there are different strokes for different folk, and be very clear that you should not get biased against people who are not in the office in front of your eyes. So
Absolutely.
be very conscious and mindful that treat people who are at work and who are at home equal.
Yeah.
If you're not getting enough FaceTime with the team who is at home, make sure that you get FaceTime on Zoom. What
Mm,
stops you? There is technology available. You want FaceTime, you get
Yeah.
that FaceTime. But mindfully do not discriminate. Second thing you need to do is that for you to be a successful manager, you need to ensure that productivity is high at both ends. So, how do you chart out a different course? Maybe task oriented, not time oriented, to ensure
mm,
that people who are working at home, you get them to do tasks. Don't worry about time. Yeah. And finally, most importantly, from the manager, I think trust. People are not sitting at home to not work. They are sitting at home because they have a horrible commute, or the children are small, or parents are ill. They're not sitting at home not to work. So trust that. Trust that. Focus on the task. Don't worry about time 9 to 5, 9 to 7, etc. Also carve out time where both of you, where the entire team can meet. I think this is what managers need to do. Individually, I think we need to get, with this power comes responsibility. With the power to choose, we as employees need to have the responsibility that while we are working at home, we will ensure that we do tasks and complete them with the highest level of effort put in. So I have a girl just now in an organization who's at home because she's can't travel, she's pregnant, she can't travel. Anytime I call her, of course I'm also careful that I call her only within working hours, but I call her up, she's there in front of our screen doing some work. So she is also recognizing the responsibility that is required. I think these are the important measures to ensure that we manage hybrid work from home flexi models well.
Yeah, parity of access, right? Even if you're not visible, I think
Yes.
very well said and important in these times.
Yes.
Thank you, Apurva. There is a question which has come to us on how must women in the workplace navigate senior roles, especially in the face of not having too many women role models at that level. So I think uh, there are some organizations who very consciously promote this at the senior level, but there are many who don't do enough. So, how can women navigate this senior roles?
Apurva, do you want to take this first?
I thought Deepa said it's for us, so I was thinking one of you will answer. But my two bits
I
is
think
as follows: that there are no, don't worry that there are no female role models. Also, don't try to become male-like in your approach. The reason why you are there at a senior level and all of us are conscious of diversity is because we want you to have a different point of view, a different way of thinking. No need to emulate anybody. No need to emulate male bosses. At senior level, we want a woman's which is a bit different or a bit um, separate from how a man thinks. So we want
Mm,
all of those points of view coming. So be comfortable that you're a woman, be comfortable that you may have a divergent viewpoint, be comfortable that you may not think like other people then. I think that is
mm,
so important. The second thing is to own that executive presence. As you become senior, you need to have executive presence. And for that, you need to be conscious about how you talk, what you wear, how you're not tentative, body language,
mm,
mentally having the confidence that and that confidence will only come when you have full faith that you are where you are because you deserve to be there. Many senior women I feel are uncomfortable in those roles because they are that imposter is constantly telling them, do I deserve to be here? Is it maybe I'm here by just luck, maybe I'm here because I'm a diversity hire. Those are wrong thoughts. They will. So actually, the inner cheerleader has to be validated and supported, and the inner critic has to be quieted. That is what I want women to do.
yeah.
Thank you, Apurva. And to the person who asked this question, Apurva is the best person to follow on all her channels. She's, Apurva, you run this, hashtag, this work stream called Dear Girls. And Apurva
Mm,
talked about all things around the workplace, things which women struggle with, either internally or because of the external environment. And we would all do well to follow Apurva because she has that wealth of experience, that we could really learn from.
yeah, absolutely. So I think we can answer any remaining questions at the end of the session if we still have time. I think we have an exciting segment waiting for all of you, and in this segment we are going to meet some of the amazing women who are featured in the book. So and it was a pilgrimage of sorts for us co-authors to immerse ourselves in their lives, and we were sometimes paralyzed. How can we do justice to the richness of their experience? And it was a tough one, but a great privilege for us to do. So with starting with Shreya, what would you like to share, and whom are we inviting?
Oh, okay. I think there is there is one go-getter that we all know and we all work with. and she makes things happen. So I'm talking about Nitya. Yeah, I'm talking about Nitya. And when I was writing the story, of course, I was struck by the fact, that she is this. She doesn't wait for anybody to come and hand anything to her on a platter. She makes her, she makes a plan. She decides her destination and she goes after it. Uh, so one particular thing that I do want to ask her about, she decided to build a remote career for herself in 2012, at a time when the concept of remote working wasn't known, at least in this country, at least in India. Nobody knew what work from home was. And at that time, Nitya decided that no, I'm going to work. So what if I had to leave my job? I am going to work. I'm going to continue working, and I'm going to work from home. And that's the kind of career that I will have. And she made it happen. So I would love to call Nitya and hear from her on how she made this happen.
Nitya, you are on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you,
Welcome.
Shreya, for this wonderful opportunity. And I'm really, honored to be present with all of you here. And to just talk about my journey in short. I actually, as Deepa said earlier, I chose to, go in this path. Due to my personal situations, there came a phase where I wanted to be at home, but I wanted to work also. So at that time, what I did is I reached out to my ex-colleagues, ex-bosses, the colleagues who were working with me, in my last organization also, and I told them that this is the path I am looking forward to. Due to my personal situations, I want to continue to work, but not from an office, but from home. But as you all know, 2012, the word work from home was non-existent. But my focus was only, in my need to find a work from home job and not on how difficult it was. So I did not stop until I got an opportunity through my ex-boss, and I got an opportunity from a Indian who was handling a website from Switzerland. So she wanted a person to handle the content management of that website. And as an Indian, she was more than willing to give me an opportunity, who is a fellow woman who is trying to achieve by working from home. So that was the start of my journey, and this year marks my 10th year of working from home. And this book has been, I would say that this is actually a celebration of my 10th year of working from home. And
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I would
Lovely.
also like to note that work from home did not stop me from learning or from getting exposure to variety of roles. In fact, I don't know whether if I would have got such exposure if I were to continue with that role which I was going to office.
Hmm.
I was working from home, I had the opportunity to, test or learn various roles, right from content writing to social media management to customer support, remote project management, remote team management. I could learn everything. In fact, I had to, I learned a new software called Canva, which I had to use for my job. So I think work from home gave me a lot of motivation also, because the trust that the employer keeps on us makes us work more and ensure that we give more of what we have. So I think having worked for 10 years from home, I don't think I will go back to office anymore, because I feel that there are a lot more opportunities available to work from home, which will help me to have better exposure while I handle my personal things also. Whenever my family needs me, I will be there, and whenever my work needs me, of course, I am there. So I think that sums up my journey. And thank you so much for this opportunity again.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nitya.
Nitya.
Thank you, Nitya.
Thank you. That was so inspiring, Nitya. So that was our daring Nitya and her super courageous story, and told in her trademark style. She's as fast as she speaks. So Next, one of the another remarkable stories that we had when we were writing was that of Vaishnavi when she moved from a city to a smaller town of Tirunelveli, and she had done her BTech, and then in Tirunelveli she created her own trajectory. So from tech, she learned to become an English teacher out of her interest. Then she did her diploma. Then she did her masters, and became a freelance content writer. It was then that she joined a FlexiBees client as in a fintech company as a content writer, and she thrived like anything. Her story is a story of progress, of growth, and learning and growing on the job. So it's really, really inspiring. I would like to invite Vaishnavi. Welcome, Vaishnavi.
Hi Deepa. Hi Rashmi and Shreya. It's
Hi,
nice to
hi.
be back at FlexiBees again.
Yeah. Welcome back, and we will keep welcoming you back. Thank you for joining us,
And I'm
Vaishnavi.
proud I can't
So,
and you can't. I'm so proud to be a part of Found again.
we are too. We are very, very privileged to have you. So since you are from Tirunelveli, the closest role model I can find is superstar Rajnikant. So you are our superstar. From when I was writing your story, I could like see, oh my God, how many different choices you have navigated all by yourself, right? So it's like I can have a full session just on your story. So one specific question which I would like to ask, and which I think the audience can learn from, is it's very intriguing to me how you worked with this client company as a freelance content writer role first, and then you became a team leader. You worked in perfect synchronization with the client team, right? And you said you also saw the benefits of working closely integrated with the client. So, how did you manage that how did you manage that? How did that come about? And where has that taken you today? Do those skills still exist, and how do you use them? I wanted to know more about that.
Yes, like I would like to first, initially, I made a conscious decision. Like, since I'm
Mm,
working remotely away, like around 600 kilometers from the core team,
mm,
I didn't want to be
mm,
at a disadvantage in any way.
mm,
I didn't want
mm,
the rest of the team members to feel like she won't be available, or I wanted to be the first choice for any kind of tasks or any kind of opportunities. I didn't want to miss out on any opportunities. I took a conscious decision
mm,
there. Like, I
mm,
made it a point to touch base with the rest of my team members every single day, even though like I didn't have any necessity to touch base. Like I used to go, did how was what was the feedback on the task we did yesterday, or what is planned for today? I made it a conscious decision to keep in contact. So this kind of gave me more opportunities. Like I was chosen not just as a initially I joined as a content writer, then I was
mm.
promoted to the content team lead. I felt
Yeah.
kind of very proud that happened. So once I got to the position of the content team lead, uh, it opened more avenues for me. Like I got to be
Mm,
part of SEO training. I learned
mm,
about backlinking, then content directories, and all that happened. So
mm,
that was one important decision I consciously took. And the other
mm,
one was like FlexiBees kind of helped me know how much impact I'm making to the organization. Like I would like
mm,
to explain this. Like initially as a freelance content writer, my role, I didn't have a kind of view what was happening with my work. I used to
mm,
submit a piece, turn it in, that's all. That was the point of
mm,
visibility.
mm,
I didn't know what they did with that work, or whether I didn't get that feedback. But once through FlexiBees I got integrated with the team, it was like I got validation. Okay, this piece did this much, and next
mm,
I use that as an opportunity to better my writing skills and learn. So these two skills I kind of want everywhere now. Like I am,
mm,
even though if I'm working remotely, you can expect me to stay in sync with the rest of the team on in communication. And the other one is I kind of thrive on feedback. So these two skills have now helped me to land a job in a US based client. So now, even though we are time zones apart, I'm still in sync, and I'm kind of growing, still growing. So thanks to FlexiBees and the initial conscious decision I took, I didn't want to be at a disadvantage, even though I'm from a tier two city, as you mentioned, Tirunelveli. I didn't want
Mhm.
that to be a disadvantage. So that's how I'm growing and
Not
still
at all.
learning.
That's yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. There is no disadvantage. You have used everything you have as a strength. So we're really incredibly proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank
it
you,
is nice
Vaishnavi.
to, yeah,
Thank you,
thank you,
Vaishnavi. It was
Rashmi.
very, no, very inspirational. I think your approach and your this whole thing about not wanting to be at a disadvantage is very,
Yeah.
it's very interesting, right? And so it's probably a very good thing for people who are in this whole work from home and work remotely thing to take away for all of us also, that putting effort to not be at that disadvantage
Yes.
or make
So,
sure that
like,
you're
I didn't want to miss out any
great.
opportunities since even though I'm
Yeah.
working remotely.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. It's amazing. Yes, great and so inspirational. Uh, Thank you for that. I
yeah,
think
thank you
now,
for having me here again.
thank
Thank
you
you,
for being
Vaishnavi.
part of our Found Again endeavor. Yeah.
Yes.
The next person, I think it's because of time, it'll be our last person, is somebody who is uh, like I think Apura was saying in the beginning, the beauty of the book comes through the fact that though there are similarities in the stories are very different, the stories are unique, and each, even though there are similar strains in stories, in the stories that we have picked, there are some that also are each, you can truly see some unique facets in each and every story. And the next person I'm going to call is one such. Hers is the thing. Yeah, there it is. Hi, Sanjana. The thing about Sanjana that is and Sanjana's story is that she's one who has, chosen this path, actually chosen this path in a very pure choice fashion. That's how we call it. I think this is a language thing between us who are in this space and who know this space. A lot of the choices of women are driven a lot by some of the constraints or some of the life style, life stage changes that are happening to them. A lot of them are around, that's what happens. A lot of the choices that they have to take or they take, the societal this thing, as well as the life stages. So that's what, as usually that's what we see, though there are again differences and nuances in all of those things. Sanjana is one which surprised us in some way, that because there were no constraints in her life at that time. That if you look at it if we look at it as a pattern or anything, there was no constraints. She actually made the active choice of wanting to work flexibly, and she also could be somebody who actually stands for this younger, generation. We see her like that. Okay, the future generation who's actually saying that we want to choose life, work, and how we live. We want to be deliberate about how we do our things versus follow this path that everybody just says we should follow, right? Sanjana was a very early precursor to us, when we early means in a few years. In startup everything is early. So that's what so Sanjana gave us that view. And also what's truly inspiring about Sanjana, I think, is that it is about choices, and it also suits her personality, because I think she's a constant learner. And if you read her story, that's what you will find. You'll find a little bit about Sanjana there. But what I want to ask Sanjana today is about this, that why the choice? What was the, what is, how, why did you take, why did you make that choice, which was not a normal or a usual choice at all? And how has it gone for you actually after making the choice?
Yes, for sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And I hope Found Again does extremely well. It's really inspirational. The reason I chose to work from home is because I started my career conventionally, which is the in office work and all of that. And while that went well for me, I realized over time, say in a 2 years or so of time, that I have a tendency to burn out.
Hmm.
Maybe it had something to do with my style of work. or my personality, because the constant learning was probably taking a toll somewhere else. But I realized that to unlock my own potential, what what I could do best and deliver best for any business, any entity, work from home looked and flexibility at work is what looked like a very good solution. And I got the opportunity to actually transition from in office to work from home with the same employer before the pandemic. I was with them for 2 years in an in office role, and I was with them for a year in a work from home capacity. And that kind of proved to me the way I performed and the way I grew when I work from home, that and when I work flexibly, that I am actually doing much better when I'm choosing to work the way I work, and I'm benefiting them more than where maybe I was before. I wouldn't know. So this was the reason that I made the choice. So it was self introspection, then tested it for a year, worked well, and then now I'm very sure I'm going to stick with it.
Excellent.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjana, for being the voice of the next generation and being such a powerful proponent of flexibility and very, very fitting protagonist in Found Again. So we hope the next few editions will have more of this generation and this thinking. Thank you so much, Sanjana, for joining us.
Thank you so much. And I've already ordered my coffee, so thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done.
So, thank you, Sanjana, for reminding us to talk about the book ordering. So, the links for the purchase are available in the comments section. So, these are just glimpses of the kind of stories and the kind of inspiration we can get. So, please get the full deal from Amazon.in, and it's available in for purchase in India, and it will come to you very quickly. So, do buy today, do buy now. Just a just a click away.
Yeah.
So in our next segment, we are very, very happy to release or show you guys a promotional video. Actually, it's hard to say promotional because it is real too. So we are very proud of this effort, and we would like to play it for you, audience, now. Just hang on while I add the file here.
Working in a cloud telephony company, and I was working there as a senior manager.
Yeah, so I was a sales manager with a skincare company, and I was handling the expansion team over there.
Yeah, so after I finished my MBA, I got placed with one of the most coveted and most sought after placement opportunity in my college. All of us were looking forward to get placed in that company, and I got through that company, and I was in talent acquisition for them.
I was working as a sales and marketing person in financial services company, and it involved a lot of traveling and meeting clients.
I had a very, very difficult pregnancy. So because of that, I had to take a break.
I lost my mother in 2009, and the same year I got married and I shifted from Bangalore to Mumbai, and that was the reason I had to leave my job.
After that, there was a gap of like 8 years.
The first 2-3 years was okay, but after that, when I wanted to start working again, and I was looking for something which would offer me some flexibility, and that was just not an option.
I thought I had a good set of companies on my resume. I would get a job easily. I was quite surprised and actually quite shocked also when my struggle to find a job was very real.
I think I must have sent like hundreds of emails to people to give me an opportunity, whatever, anything, you know.
Because after the age of 35, for a woman to get back into the workforce is difficult.
I resigned to the fate that, okay, probably I just have to just stay put now, and, you know, I don't think I'm going to get something that is going to be flexible and give me something that I can do happily. Yeah, good to go. Okay. So I work as a sales lead, and I have the flexibility to go and meet my clients when I feel like.
Currently, I'm leading a big team in the curation vertical. I do put in full hours, but with the added comfort and advantage of working from home.
I am taking care of my team, closing deals across the globe.
And right now, my daughter's exams are going on and I'm working from home. I have to be in office 5 days a week, but they've given me an option to work from home.
It's not a job anymore. It is something that is part of me. It comes very naturally to me. It's something that I look forward to.
I shifted from Jamnagar, I shifted to Visakhapatnam. I continued with this organization from Visakhapatnam. Right now I'm in Mumbai and I continue to be with this organization. So I feel very blessed and lucky to be part of this organization, which allows me to work from home irrespective of where I am.
I have found again.
I have found again.
I have found again.
I have found again.
So, Shreya, you want to talk a little bit about this production?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just wanted to make sure that the beauty of the story, the women that we are featuring, we bring those, the heartfelt nature of these journeys to people even before they've read the book, and in fact to maybe influence their decision to read the book. And we thought that that could happen very well in a video format, wherein we are able to show the journey, we are able to show the challenges, and yeah, very similar trajectories to the ones that we've captured in the book. And yeah, we had a great time making this video, and thanks to the four protagonists. We could only have these four because time was short, and we could only constrain ourselves to a geographical location. So thanks to the four lovely women who've given so much of themselves apart from their stories, their time, and they've made everything that we've done in this journey worthwhile and beautiful. I hope you guys liked being part of the video, and I hope the people who watched it liked watching it.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments on the video already. So I think it's being received well. So we have one or two questions remaining. Perhaps we'll see if we want to take them. And then we will move on to the final segment. So, okay. So there is one from Shruti Khandekar. Can we really achieve equality in corporate career? Then naturally women are more inclined towards their family duties, especially after motherhood. Wow. Okay. Either of you want to take a shot at this first?
I can take a shot, and I have to say I disagree. First off, with the statement that women are more naturally inclined towards domestic duties. I think that's how society has shaped up for
Yeah.
reasons right or wrong, and those have become the roles. But we all have, I'm sure, memories of or knowledge of people who are not don't fit in these society created boxes very clearly. So I know of both my parents. My father, for example, is the more motherly you know uh, person, is the more motherly character, and that's what it's very clear to me that these are roles that society, and maybe to an extent we ourselves, thrust upon ourselves. And given that, and of course, equally men today do want to also be very involved with some of these duties, caregiving, and and they should be able to also. So that's where we think that flexibility actually is the answer,
Yeah.
because it enables, it actually breaks some of these notions that, and not just for women, but for everyone. that men are able to participate more fully in other spheres of their lives apart from just the duality of homework. You're able to also discover other facets of yourself, and equally it enables women who have the more traditional role of perhaps being at home and being more involved with domestic endeavors, to be able to give their 100% to their professional aspects as well. Yeah, so yeah, that would be my response to it. And I think given that this equality definitely is possible, we are starting to nice.
Thank you. Then there's one last, I think we'll take this as the last question. What kind of initiatives you take? You take, I think they mean FlexiBees, to the corporates so that they fully support this idea of diversity in the corporate roles and flexible working.
Does me want to?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, what is actually, if it comes to flexibles, I think we do it a little differently than the whole. We actually don't go to the corporates and sell diversity per se. What we sell is we basically sell to them this great talent pool that is here, that is ready
Yeah.
to be, that is ready to contribute, that is very eager to contribute. There's very experienced, excellent, brilliant, talented women who are just waiting to come and use that talent in your company, right? And then that is what we feel, what we are at the same time saying is, if you want this talent pool, you just have to do one small thing: give flexibility. So that is kind of our take on this. So what we have noticed also is that companies, it's one thing for them to kind of do things for diversity. Of course they will do, a lot of companies now, because there's enough data to show that diversity actually works for you as a company wide also. But in general, what we see is they do things for business. So whatever, if you get good talent, is a big need. Every company wants good talent now, especially committed talent which is willing to, which is bringing in something new, which is committed to them, which is like all the people you met today, Nitya, Vaishnavi, Sanjana, they all show you they're so eager, they're so, they're so driven and ambitious. This is the pool. And so in some way, that part of us, when we sell, we are selling this pool, this underserved talent pool that is sitting here, and we are selling it, saying that that's the kind of initiative, that's what we are taking to the corporates. Hey, come and take this lovely pool is sitting here, please make possible flexible working, and hence you can then be, kind of use this pool very well, and that will help your company grow. And that's pretty much what we have done, I think. And through this, what happens is they experience it. That's what has happened to us when we go. We Some of the companies that take talent from us, they experience it. They first take one person, then they're very happy with that person, then they say, okay, maybe this model we can use for a few other roles. And that's how we kind of build more and more. And then obviously that improves the diversity of the company also. That
Yeah.
happens as a result. But we actually sell the strength of the talent is I think what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah. To add to what Rashmi said, the talent is the biggest point, and yeah, not necessarily the gender of the talent, so that helps finally, and also we help the matching basically to ensure that the
Yeah.
fit with the role is there. So we help with the matching, and then they get such agile talent who is already experienced, right?
Mhm.
So it's like this training time is very less for companies, say via hiring from freshers. So yeah, so um, whole host of reasons corporates have to hire in this way and from this talent pool. Okay, so okay, I think we have answered as many questions as we could in the time given. So there are a lot of wonderful comments here, and I think we should read them at our ease. Ruchika has said nothing is more inspiring than seeing how this impossible feat is made possible. Trishla has said, touched by the stories of these women. A lot of amazing comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating, commenting, asking questions, and keeping this session a very high energy one. So, as promised, we come to the segment where we will offer three giveaways. With so many comments and questions, I think it's going to be a difficult task again for us. So please bear with us, and we will keep running many contests. So do follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. There is going to be a lot of activity and good contests for you to participate in and keep winning prizes. So this is just the first one, and do buy the book. So the comments and the book link has been put in the comment section. Please go and buy the book. So we would like to announce the winners of today's giveaway. So we will have Sonia, Trishla Upadhyay, and Archana Tiwari. Thank you so much, all of you, for your wonderful questions. So we just had to pick three, so we have picked three, but we are really grateful for every comment and every question that came in. And special congratulations to the three of you, Sonia, Trishla, and Archana Tiwari. Trishla and sorry, I think I misread. Sonia, Trishla, and I think it is Subhashri Sampath. I'm sorry. Sonia Trishla and Subhashri Sampath. Thank you so much, guys, and congratulations once again. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today and launching this saga. And please continue to be with us on this journey as we keep sharing more and keep spreading the word about the book. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye.